Hey guys, how are you doing tonight? Hello. I'm here. 7:21. So I figured, if I say I'll be here at like 7:15, maybe we'll say I'm always 5 minutes late. It's really bad. I'm really bad about that. But in real life, I'm always that person that has to be like on time. Actually, I always have to be there early or I feel like I'm late. I'm just going to make sure we're good to go. Because we look like we are good to go everywhere. Except for I need to stream this other camera. I'm going to stream the other camera really quick. There we go. Is that better? Hi, Lola. I'm trying to, oh, Lolo. Okay, I'm trying to get the names right. So how's everybody doing this evening? It's Friday, so it's officially the end of the work week for most people. So you really can't beat that. This chair is so big, I don't know where I want to sit. Like, I don't know where I need to sit. I don't know if you guys were here. Some of you, I think, were for last night's live, but I don't know if all of you guys were here. So I'm fairly new. If you haven't been on my channel before, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the case coverage tonight. Last night I did a live, and we were going to do a live. I was going to do like half of it with Quentin Simon case, and then half of it with Kylie Rodney case. And at 6 o'clock or something, news broke. It was like right before the live. That's when like news kind of broke about the Kylie Rodney case, and so all of our attention kind of went to that yesterday. And I'm trying to look into this webcam. I'm so bad. I'm gonna try to like move my computer over. I think. Actually, I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. I'm blind on this side, so that's why I keep turning my head. If you guys see me next time, I'll put the computer on this side so it's not. I'm making more eye contact, I would say. See, I don't know if they're going to. Do you think that they'll come out with a November? That was one of my questions that were down. Do you think they'll come out with a November 1st press conference, or do you think they're just gonna they're like, oh well, they're happy with that and just kind of slide it out of the. I think they're trying to get rid of a lot of YouTubers. That's what I think. But also, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking the subscribe button below. If you haven't been on one of my lives before, I did explain to you guys I don't have any mods in my lives yet, so it's just little old me, and I like to keep it that way for as long as I can. It's more personal, I feel like. So I always try to keep my eye on the chat. If we can always do like a live panel as well, and we can always have people come up and do stuff like that because I think those would be fun. But no, I think that they're going to try to brush it under the carpet. I think that that's what they have been wanting to do from the beginning. I did watch Zab Girls live in all 8 hours. I watched it like 1.5 times. So I'm hoping that, and I really wasn't taking notes, and I don't know why, but I was just trying to absorb it all in, what she was saying, because a couple of the other channels, she had an actual doctor on her live last night to, I don't know if you guys saw it, to kind of go through what the actual autopsy report said, because not everybody has read an autopsy report before to know what the different levels mean or what they're testing for and why they're testing for those certain things. I am going to go over to that paper. Okay, yeah, that's this one. I feel like personally that I've been tested for more items, like on a standard, just when you go to the doctor for your medications, like a standard drug screening, than they did on her autopsy report. Some of the stuff they didn't even test for. And then a lot of the things, people were thinking that, you know, she'd come up positive with a lot of the other things, but it wasn't the case. It was just different things that they tested for. So I did write down what they actually tested for. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna put that up here. I appreciate that. Every girl needs to hear that. And it's my birthday weekend, so I'm getting to be another year older. 37 this year. I don't really like that number, so I think I'm gonna stick with 36. My boyfriend asked me how that's gonna work out, and I told him don't worry about that. Just don't worry about it. I said by the time I'm starting to look super old and no one believes me anymore, nobody will ask, and they'll just think I'm like senile, you know. I think I like, you know, just lost my mind a little. They're like, oh, she thinks she's 36, but she's 86 or something, you know. And they'll leave me be. Oh, thank you. I have so many lights in here. It's insane. And so I've been trying to brighten them up a little bit. And then my boyfriend helped me with the webcam today because I'm like, how can I brighten this room up? Because I literally have so many lights. I have to take a picture of this ring light I got. And I have to show it to you guys on like my community post or something that literally is the best ever. It's like super thick. It's super big. I don't know. I'm like, I destroy things very easily. I really do. I really do destroy things. See, that's what I was going to go over with that too. But I got distracted. Someone called me pretty. But so when I saw that in her lungs, because I know like a tiny bit about the lungs, but not like that much. I collapsed one, and so I know how that like the process kind of goes with that. But they said that they where was I had it wrote down. Maybe I didn't write that down. But they tested for like something like the outside of her lungs held water, they said. But like that could be through like just regular absorption. She was there for 2 weeks in the back of the hatch. But they didn't test the bronchioles and her windpipe. Or if they did test for it, it wasn't listed on the autopsy report. I did catch that. Oh, thank you. I'm going to try. I really am. I'm going to try. But I like hanging out with you guys at the same time. I was talking to a lady today about that. She's like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I go on YouTube and I hang out with my people. We talk true crime. That's what we do. And I love that. And I am going to incorporate more of the fashion part of this, you know, on this side of the, you know, crime and fashion. I was even thinking maybe doing like once a week, doing like a little mannequin display, like over in the side. That way you could like see in a new outfit, something like that. Oh, and I forgot to let you guys know, there is that promo code still out. I own a boutique. And it's called Poppy and Ari, Poppi, and then and Ari. And I could put that in the chat. Actually, I could put it, I think, I'm going to do it on that banner. I wonder if let's see, create a new one. I'll just put it on like the banner. But this is my boutique. And I started this after let me see if it'll go on there. There we go. I started my boutique after working in a boutique for 3 or 4 years. I was with a large company, and they didn't treat their employees very well. They just put a lot on their employees. So basically, you were one person to a store. Literally, you didn't get a day off, and so I broke down. My body broke down on me after doing that for so long. I lost a whole bunch of weight, and so I started my own boutique, and then now it's just been great. So I like to extend my boutique to you guys. I always just like to tell you guys about it in case you like cute clothes. And I have a promo code, so it's all capitalized YouTube20, and it's for 20% off anything in the boutique. I have home furnishings like candles, clothing, jewelry, bralettes. I've got it all. I really do. I got sweaters, and I have a bunch of stuff coming in that's going to be really, really pretty, and it's kind of different than what I normally get. I mean, it's same style, but it's just a different brand. I've never tried a couple of different brands, so I'm hoping that they come in and they're bomb, because they better be, because I can't take them back. I'm not sending them back. I'm not doing that. Oh yeah, and then I don't know about the stomach. So the water in the lungs, I saw, but I'm gonna put this one up too. Yeah, they didn't, because that only shows in half the people that take it. Oh, I didn't know that either. And you were an RX for years. And oh yeah, exactly. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that they, but I also didn't know that when you test for opioids, like it could show in there, but there's more extensive testing for you to do with fentanyl. And that's what I wrote down. Like, yeah, they didn't test for fentanyl because that was my whole thing. And since the beginning of this whole case started was, when they got the toxicology results back, which I wasn't sure because, her being in the water so long, I didn't know if when you pass, if it just, because you start, I don't want to say the word decomp, and like, I didn't think maybe the tissue wasn't there to be able to be tested or something. But obviously she was able to have all these tests done and they didn't test for that certain one. And that sounds so ridiculous to me because I heard that, and I didn't need to hear this, every small town in America has a fentanyl problem, I feel like, pretty much. So, well, maybe not every small town. I don't think my small town does, and that's rare. The small town I grew up in, they have a huge problem, and it's just like Truckee. I feel like the same amount of people live there. The way they're so tight with each other, the way that no offense to people that live in my old hometown, but it's still like a popularity contest even after you graduate. Like it's still still has that vibe to it, but everybody's like strung out now. So it's just kind of, I don't know. But the fentanyl, I feel like, could be in her system. And I don't know if you can test for that. Yeah, see, that can explain a lot of things. Because if she didn't have a lot of alcohol in her system, she was tested, I think, at 88 milligrams or something. And I think the testing starts at like 80, so she was only like 8 points above it. And the doctor that was on Zab Girls Live, because I watched Zab Girl and then I watched Plunder, and then I went back to Zab Girl because Plunder didn't seem like she seemed like she thought it was a lot of alcohol, but my father passed away in a drunk driving accident. It wasn't his fault, but he had been drinking. So I know a lot about like the blood alcohol level and what the millimeters and stuff, like the grams should look like or whatever the number should look like. I know what the number should look like, and that looks small to me. But then again, I was looking at really high numbers when it was my dad, and it was also 14 years ago. So I need to look more into that. And then I didn't get a copy of her. I didn't send out to get a copy of her autopsy, so I can like look on other people's and read it, like But I want to get a copy for myself, like to read, so I can even see exactly what it says and look up exactly what I need to look up. But Zab Girl really did a good job on looking up a lot of stuff. And then she had that doctor, on her live. So I was just trying to write down, things for that, like. And has anybody? I'm gonna switch over here in a minute. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry to hear about yours. Yeah, it was hard. I was 22, so I was really young, and it was just his time, I guess. He was only 47. So I think that's what gets me too about getting older. Like now I'm like, okay, I'm only 10 years, of my dad's age when he passed. And because you don't think about your parents like being that young, I guess, like, because when you get older, your parents get older with you normally. Like, I lost both of mine before 30. So I don't know. I just think of my mom like being 33 when she had me, and I'm 37. I don't have any kids, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine putting up with the little me, But she did it. She did such a good job. And I guess that's why she was such a good mom. Oh, you're not old, girl. Oh, he was 50. I thought you were saying your mom was 54, 51. I was like, because I was thinking you or not, but no, 54 or 51 is still young. You were 20, yeah. 55, see, isn't that like such a young, that's so young. Okay, I totally thought it was, okay, that was very concerning to me because I thought that, and I heard them say this, and I didn't follow Zab Girl during like the Watts case or anything like that. And so I didn't hear her go over the autopsy of the not Cece or Bella. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the wife's name, but I'm sorry, the wife. But she had Shanann. Was that her name? Yeah, I'm saying that right, right? But I know they said she had over 400 milligrams in her system, and they only have 88 for Kylie. So, and that was just because she was out hot in decomp. And that's kind of like, I mean, Kylie was in water in decomp. I don't know how, I guess the water, I think, level is kind of colder there. But I'm not sure what the water level temperature or like what that temperature would be this time of year. Should I have a pen? I'm about to grab one because I'm like, I need to remember that because I wonder like what the water temperature was. I don't know if anybody ever went over that on any of the other channels. I didn't hear that, but that's a good, I mean, because that's going to either slow it down or it's going to speed it up. But from what we heard, I don't know. It seemed like it was pretty right on with, 2 weeks. But then again, I am not a medical doctor, so I do not know that. I used to put that in my YouTube videos in the beginning when I talk about all my stuff. And I have 2 new videos coming out for you guys. I have one about the Rodni massacre. I'm trying to like put pictures and stuff in there. If not, I'm just gonna throw it on there for you guys because it's really good. And then I've been doing they're kind of like telling your guys' stories for you. So if you have like a story of true crime or like trauma or loss or like anything like that, and you want me to tell your story, just write it out in story format and send it to my email at titaniumbuiltboo@gmail.com. I had a lady reach out and I told her story tonight. I did it like on a video, I did it pre-recorded, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. I about cried like at the end because I about cried like multiple times in it. But I'm not like, I didn't think I was that emotional of a person, but I was like, we might not be able to do story time. It was just really uplifting and like, it was just a really powerful, very touching story. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but make sure that you make sure the notifications are on for that video. I'll have that out in the next couple of days because it really, really was a good one. Like, I didn't know how good it would work out with me just talking to a camera, like telling someone else's story, but it worked out so well. She wrote it so good, and like I didn't have to tweak anything. She was like, tweak it if you want. I'm like, girl, you wrote that like a book. Like, you were better than me. I'm gonna see if I can go through your comments here. You don't know about the temp? I don't know either. I want to know. I feel like the autopsy wasn't just wasn't that like so basic to you guys? Like that didn't say a whole lot. Like, I wonder how many pages that was. I wonder if I can figure that out on Zach's Girls, if she has like the numbers. I wonder how many pages, because I know that my father's anyway. I didn't have an autopsy with my mom, but autopsy with my dad. I know that it was thick, like it was really thick. Probably a good 50 pages or more, maybe more. I know that it was thick, and because it was a fatality car accident. That's just kind of like what this is, a fatality car accident. So I don't understand. And I don't understand why they, I don't know if they just put this on the autopsy. I don't know if you guys saw this. But Lindsay Neiman, it just had her name as like the parent. It didn't have like, it had numbers like for 4 people. Like, maybe mom and dad, stepmom, stepdad, or something along those lines, or half. Well, I don't know how that would work. That would be half siblings. You would put them on there. But maybe like, mom, stepmom, something like that. But they only had like Lindsay Neiman, that was it. I wonder if that's because she was the one in charge of like picking up her remains and things like that and cremating all that. Yeah, definitely do it. Like, she made, and if you guys want me to, after I do the story, if you need me to, I'll link in like her writing or something. That way, if you want to read it again. But I mean, it was a really good. It was a really good read. I didn't read it beforehand at all, and so like when I was reading it with you guys, like I would read like a little bit ahead, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's sad, or like it would be so happy. Like, it was like a roller coaster ride. I was like, man. So I guess that is kind of how it feels like when I just tell my story. I don't know. It's always nice when you can tell your story and just get it out there too. If like you don't feel comfortable telling it yourself, but you want people to know about it, like maybe in the future. Like, I don't know. You can always say keep it as like a memento, and like if you ever wanted to show, your parents or your children or whatever, when they got older. I always think that's why I started my YouTube channel in the beginning, was outlet for coronavirus that was going on, and I had all these injuries, and didn't know anybody that was like near like me, and now I have like a whole community of people. It's like insane. Someone, okay, so fantastic. There's that. Someone pointed out that any drowning victim blood cells throughout the water because fluid instead of the gravity. Yeah, that makes sense that it would pool. And then you have to think about when they put in her like her car, like they flipped it. So whatever she was position she was in before, she was like rolled around. So she's not going to be in the same positioning as she was before. Because I remember like they were going over they went over a lot of stuff in that live. That was like a lot of it was necessary, but a lot of it was like unnecessary. Like looking at the jewelry, if she was wearing the necklaces the night of the party. Well, it doesn't matter because she was wearing them when they found her. Like it was just like things like that. I was just like, I'm going to skim through some of that because I mean we'd be talking all year. We could talk all year about what she was wearing. But everything that she was found, like everything she was found in, she was wearing like that night. It wasn't like a different belt. I mean, they even said like the inner links of the belt, you know, because she had like the little what are those called? Something holes. I forget. You know, they're like little silver holes that go in the belt. And then she had her, you know, green dickies on, the bodysuit she had on. So apparently, whoever found that bodysuit, well, it wasn't hers. So and she had all of her jewelry on, like all of the bracelets. None of those bracelets deteriorated in like the water. So it must be a pretty clean like reservoir or something, you would think, because nothing was like deteriorating. My dad used to embarrass me all the time, and so I feel like if I ever have kids, they're going to be in for a treat. And then he did it to his grandkids, and they have funny stories about him. So it is nice. It like okay, so I would like never get out of my house, but I always go to like Target, and I feel like my boyfriend the other day because I don't have kids. I'm like, if I ever got lost, like, or if I like, ever come missing, because like, of course he's going to be the guy that would do it. Like no one else. I don't know anybody else. Like I really talk to no one else. So it would be him. I'm like the lady at Target. She'd be like the only one that would come looking for me. It's so funny. So I'm sure that I would embarrass my kids though when I do have them. I don't believe a word from Truckee or anybody that lives in Truckee because I think I was writing that down. Yeah, we heard from Megan that she did cocaine, which that could have, I guess, metabolized out of her, like I don't know. I wrote that down. I wonder how long it stays in your system after. But I feel like they answered that on Zab. Like maybe when I watched it the second time, and they said it could have metabolized out because it's such a short like half life. But I don't know why they didn't test for the fentanyl. That's just so surprising to me. I mean, that would be like one of the things I would want tested. You would think that her mom would be like wanting every test under the sun then. Because I'll tell you what they tested for. The only thing that I really like I could see was like the opioids, which is like the GHB, which would be like pain medication, things like that, benzodiazepine, methanol, acetone, which I'm assuming that's because like I think you make acetone like meth or heroin or something with acetone. I think you use that for cocaine too or something. I was like, that's an active ingredient in a lot of drugs. They tested her for alcohol and then THC, but she was only positive for the ethanol, which is alcohol, and then the THC. But the alcohol, like I said, it's just not even that much. They probably did cause more damage flipping the car. I mean, they busted out the window, it looks like. Yeah, no, that's what I said in one of my videos. When I did one of my like first videos on this, I was like, look at that water. I said, I can get swimming in that. Like, I'm from Ohio. We don't have reservoirs here. We have dirty creek water. Like, that stuff was beautiful I was seeing. But I did hear that it is like near Tahoe, so it's colder. Like that's water I think that runs off the hill from when it's snowing, or like the maybe snow caps or something. I'm not really sure, but I think that's the water that like, and then it makes those huge reservoirs, and then through the summer, the rain, or the clouds, soak up the water, and then they produce the rain, and then that produces the snow for the next year. I'm not a weather woman either, but that's how I'm getting it, because the water, and the water recedes so fast. It's because I guess if they're in a drought out there in California, and the water just recedes really fast. Do you think that they released this autopsy report now because of us finding the fire cam footage? Put a 1 in the chat if you think so, and then put a 2 if you don't think they're related. Because we weren't supposed to get those findings until November 1st. That's why I was like thinking, okay, I still have time to write and get all that stuff in order, get the autopsy results back so I can read them to you guys on here. And then it was all of a sudden yesterday, I was actually doing research for a video to do for my life yesterday, because things other than the fire cam footage, that's all we had that was new, and I had done a couple of lives on it, and I had done a story on it, and so I was like, didn't want to beat a dead horse with that, and then all of a sudden I look and there's people commenting and stuff like, they just like, they said it was an accident, no suspect of foul play, and I was like, what? Like that's just doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't make up for it. I don't know, that just it doesn't add up in my mind. Oh, it was the same day as stimulus news? I didn't even hear about the stimulus news. Look at that. Are we getting any more money? So 1, is it, okay, what did I say the question was now? I should have put it in there. Okay, what was it? 1, if, I keep reading your comments, and I'm not gonna make up another question. I keep reading your comments. I don't know why. I'm like, okay, we'll make up another one because I literally just forgot. But I do want to do a poll with you guys. Let's see. She did have on all of her jewelry, though. I did say that, except for 1 shoe and 1 sock. They didn't mention anything about the vehicle and the findings of the vehicle, which they wouldn't, I guess, in an autopsy. But if you're doing a full report, why wouldn't you give us all this, like a full report? Oh, this is a good one. So, oh yeah, one of the fire footage. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put this up. This was another question that I had. Let me see. So why didn't they mention the strap in the back of the car? Like they didn't like mention that she was restrained by anything or anything like that. Like they didn't even say that it was underneath of her. So we all know that was out of the door. So what was that about? Like even the doctor brought that up on Zab Girl's channel, like when she was going through, I think she was going through, and it did say stuff about the vehicle, maybe a little bit, like about maybe like the location, just like the location of Kylie into like perspective of the vehicle. And I think it was like her back leg was up on the headrest, and then the other foot was like straight out. I can't really remember. It was hard to visualize what she was reading unless I was reading it myself. I'm one of those people I have like visually like see something too, and I have to read it like myself. It has to be in my hand. I don't know. I'm one of those weird people. I'm still not up with the digital age yet, guys. All these women believe no one heard car going in. See, that's what I don't get either. And then the 1236 phone call where we keep coming back to that every time. When you have a cell phone, you can pick it up and you like say, oh, okay, Kylie called me at 1236. And we had a phone conversation. It was 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 second long. Like, I don't know what is so hard about that and why it's so hard to why we just don't have that answer. Like why she couldn't just say, I don't know. Because we know that I don't think that Kylie called her from the back. I don't think she called her asking her for help if she's in a vehicle that's going underwater. But it took that vehicle a long time to go underwater too. Like I don't know if you guys saw the footage, but it was like over a minute that car took to sink. So I don't see it. I don't think that. Does anyone know? Has anyone heard of anything from AWP? I haven't heard a word. Like since this has all come out, I want them to come out with their footage. I'm not the only person. I think everybody wants to hear what they have to say now, because it's going to go like it can go either way. It literally is up to them and what they say, like literally. If they say the AAA guy was mistaken, he saw her Friday morning, but then it was like, well, why did you put it out there? Because they did technically put it out there. It could have been Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, he said. So, I mean, I don't know. What does everyone think about that now? I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what to think about everybody now. Yeah, I saw that the headlight. Oh, I didn't know that. See, and I'm usually pretty good at like stalking other YouTubers' pages and knowing what's going on. Because this case has brought out the crazy in some people. I mean, this is my first true crime case on YouTube, so I can't like say too much. But from my first experience with a huge crime, true crime, and being on YouTube, I have got to say, I hope that it's always this exciting and passionate because there are some passionate people in here, and I do love that. But then there are also some creators. I don't understand why they have a platform sometimes. And I'm sure you guys will know those people there's only like one or two people, one person I think in particular. But I've just seen a lot of like mean things be said about like other creators, and I just think that that's if you don't like somebody, just like kind of just keep your opinions to yourself. Like I mean, everyone can have an opinion. Talk about it with your mom. Talk about it with your girlfriend. Don't get on camera and just talk about somebody. Like I don't know, because you don't know what's happening in their life, and you don't know what's going on. And you only like with a lot of YouTube people, like creators, you only get that 8 hours with them, or that 2 hours, or 10 hours, and whatever. You only get that little bit, so you don't know what is going on in the back. And I don't know. I figured I would say my piece about that. And I told my boyfriend I'd always keep my mouth shut. I try. I said, if you hear me in there going on, because I'm from Philly. I was born in Philly, and like my whole family's from there, and so they're loud, they were crazy, and so he knows that I don't know if you guys were on last night. I don't have any bruising on my fingers, which is surprising. But when I found out the news, I slammed my phone down, and I never do that kind of stuff. Like I slammed it on the bed because, of course, I thought it's on the bed. But I had this like piece of metal like thing sitting there, so I hit it with my fingers. I was like, got myself there, karma. What else did I write down? I write down. So I want to do some stuff like that. Yeah, no, it definitely made it sink quicker with the windows being down. But like I said, I'm pretty sure in the video it was like over a minute it took for the car to fully like sink. So she had all that time to, I think was it the passenger? It was like the passenger and then the right, like the driver's side was down part way. Like she literally was beside a window and then would crawl back beside another window, but past it just to go all the way to the hatch. And like I said, if there was a way for her to open the back hatch, like from the inside maybe, but I don't think there's a way to do that in normal cars. And her window didn't open like that. It wasn't like two parts. We all agreed on that. So I don't know why she would go back there. And they're trained, like they're trained or not trained, but they're taught in trucking to do all these different things, like so that you can be found or you can get out of like a tough situation. Like, Sammy said the lighting of your phone, the flashing of your phone up into like the light so that people can see you, planes can see the reflection, like things like that. We didn't learn that in Ohio. So I'm sure she learned a lot of other things that we didn't learn out here or in other states that we don't even know about. And she knew like how to do things. She probably knew how to bust out a window in a reservoir or in a lake if she was going under. I don't know if you guys saw AWP's. They did a video on it, and maybe she already knew how to do something like that because she grew up in Truckee. Good evening, Annette. And then so then they say there was a huge party, but then you only see like a small amount of cars. When they say there's a mass exodus, I don't see a mass of anything. I see like a couple cars, a few cars. That's like a party to me. That's like a Tuesday night at your friend's house. Like it didn't seem like it was like the party of the year, senior party, we're graduating. It didn't seem like that. And the alcohol in her system just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. See, okay, I knew cars could, but can like SUVs in the hatch do that too? Like their back hatch can open too? Because it's not like totally enclosed like a trunk. That's what I didn't know. I didn't know if you could open it from the inside. I didn't know if that would be kind of dangerous. I don't know though. But you are right. They do. I know that all cars do, but I didn't know about SUVs because they have like, you have a way to kind of poke out like the top of it. But then again, I just don't know. Yeah, I remember them putting that lever in. Was that really just only been since 2002? Seems like it happened before then. I mean, I remember it happening, but it seems like it was before then. But that makes sense. Okay, what else? So I am going to, tomorrow, I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to find the autopsy report so that we can kind of go over it a little bit more and a little more in depth. And then I just wanted to touch up on this Quentin Simon case from Savannah, Georgia. Has anybody heard any news yet about the mother being taken into custody? What are your thoughts on the case? Have you guys been following this case? He's like the cutest little thing ever. Like, cutest little thing ever. Leilani was his mother. Leilani, I don't know, I'll probably say Leilani. I don't know if I want to call her that. And then the baby was actually staying though with Billy Joe, which is the grandmother, and then Danny is the boyfriend, and then the babysitter is Diana, and they have all had a kind of a different hand in what kind of happened and what's been going on. But Quentin is supposed to be staying with his grandmother, Billy Joe. But she also, I don't understand, she also lets her daughter stay there. So I don't know how that even worked out to begin with. I don't know why somebody would, I understand it. If I was a mom, I guess I wouldn't want my kid to be on the street, but she has to think of her grandbabies. But they said that, but I was going to just do an update on the end of the case. I have a bunch of stuff on it. Because I watched the press conference and I couldn't hear it at all. Like they had the other day, they had the press conference. It started, I think it was 2 days ago. And in the beginning of it, I just couldn't hear the guy really talking. And then the second guy that came on, I couldn't hear the questions being asked at all. And I had the volume all the way up. So I had to kind of go back and listen to it again. And they just confirmed that they do believe, that Quentin is unfortunately no longer with us. And he is in a landfill somewhere, deceased. The prime suspect, of course, is his mother, if you want to call her that. It's so sad. They don't know where she is right now, but I'm sure that the mom knows where her daughter's at. If she's not, they believe that he is in a landfill, but they don't have an exact location of him. He was. I know this is so sad. This little boy didn't deserve that mom or that grandmother. It was like, how many people had to fail this little boy too? Like, it's like, how is it going to be like this with every case? Because I hope not. I sure as hell hope not. Because it's like we just got literally we're still talking about the Kylie Rodney case and how many people failed her everybody. And then I've literally been talking about this case for 3 minutes now, and I can name one, two, three, four people, not counting DHS or like, is that what it is? No, what is it? Yeah, like the Child Protective Services and stuff that was called, and not even and they should have been involved a long time ago. But where was I at with that? So the timeline from the babysitter, and this is what I kind of got from it. They left, so they left at like 6 o'clock the night before. Said bye to the babysitter, and then at 5:29 they text the babysitter that they weren't coming that day. But she said that they always came, no matter if they were working or not. It was an excuse just to kind of get rid of their kids for $30. I think they paid her altogether. It was 15 per kid, and half the time they would ask for that money back for bills, or they said that they needed formula for the baby, but in reality, she was already on WIC and got free formula for her kids, so she would just use the money. But she said that they would pay her back, so I don't understand why. Only thing I can think of is that was what they needed it was for drugs, and they would pay her back when they have more money. But you never have more money when you were doing drugs because you just put it right back into doing more drugs. Everything about this case in the beginning, I thought was Kylie Anthony. Like the whole babysitter deal, the grandmother being involved with it. I wonder where the grandfather is. I didn't hear anything about him, but who knows? I mean, and then Danny, the boyfriend, he pieced out. Like he trucked it out there. Like as soon as he found out like something was up, he knew. Okay, so if he's like out of there, I personally believe that he knows what she did, and now everybody kind of knows because the mom kind of said it. But over the timeline, yeah, he texted at 5:29 and said they weren't coming, and then at 9 a.m. that's when Quentin went missing because the babysitter I think had called or went over there. And then at 9:40, that's when she called the police because the babysitter, of course, had to say, like, I don't know, I said, of course, why should she have to say that? Like, the police should have already been over there. Like, when you found out the first second you thought your kid was missing, why would you even call the babysitter and be like, is Quentin over there? Like, Quentin has a driver's license. That's what she did. She called, like, he has a driver, like, he can just be like, yeah, I'm going to go over to Diana's house and hang out with the babysitter for a little bit, mom, but he was found playing in ditches before by different neighbors. That's another thing. I don't think I counted the neighbors for that and the people that really hurt this boy, because there was all these people that could have called and then called again or done something and stepped in and intervened. They were coming to the babysitter with bruises, no clothing, like not the right clothing. Okay, how many times do you see that before you call? And then how many times do you see it again before you call again? Or or personally take the children there to Child Family Services or whatever it is in your state. That's what I would have done. At that point, I would have been like, okay, I'm going to bring these kids into you and physically show you. I don't know. But we can do that all night and play that card, It would have, would have, should have, but still. And then the investigation, started at 9:40 in the morning, and then the FBI was brought in like hour 3. And then I wrote down some of the red flags that I saw, like when going through the case. And I wanted to cover this sooner, and I wish I would have covered it sooner than I did. But they didn't want any help searching for him. Like, who does that? And then the grandmother calls, or she posts on Facebook that she needs help with her pool and getting her pool repaired. All the while, her grandbaby is missing. But you're more worried about getting your pool cleaned. Why? Is there something in your pool that you need cleaned out of there? Like, I don't understand. It's chlorine anyway, so whatever would be in there is not, it wouldn't even be usable. I wouldn't even know, but it's just like, I don't know. And then another one was, Oh yeah, she didn't call the police because she was waiting on that trash man to come. Because how's she gonna leave the house with two children and get rid of a baby, like another baby, like trash can. Then you wait until the trash can's picked up because most people know when it comes. By the minute. If especially if you live like out in the rural area or something, you usually know when trash pickup is. And that's what I feel like she was trying to do. The babysitter, that her wanting to do that prayer circle and that videotape. Did you guys see that video of the grandmother busting into the babysitter's house? Like I know I'm like on the game with that one, but whoa. They're in Savannah. I wonder if that's I can't think of what it's called. It's like it's a shooting state. Like you shoot and you ask things later. I can't think. Stand your ground. Isn't that a stand your ground state? I know Florida is. Georgia is right above it. I mean, she could have done a lot to that lady for her barging in her house like that. I don't know. I don't know if I could have kept my cool. She didn't keep her cool that well, but she did keep her cool. Because I mean, someone being that close into your face, and you're just wanting. She wanted to do a prayer circle, and what happened was the grandmother took that as a memorial, and that's not what she meant by it. She meant like bring people together, get the word out, do a prayer circle. Try to have a higher being, somebody help them. Just somebody to pray to, just pray, and she was just not having it. Then she blamed it on the babysitter. She said that she thought that she took off with Quentin. Her daughter was the only one with a troubled past. So, of course, I feel like she's going to go blame other people. She doesn't want to blame her daughter. And like I said, they would bring the kids over dirty, bruised, like they had been like hit with a belt or something. So, the Facebook post last night at 9:06 said her grandson, that was the one that said her grandson had passed. I wouldn't think that would be my first thing to do. That's what I put. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, Tanya. It wouldn't be the first thing that I would do. She stated that her daughter did it but had no memory of doing it. So I guess that they're planting that seed of defense there, with insanity defense. Did you hear that she's trying to say that pain medication from getting one wisdom tooth pulled could have like made her, I guess, black out hours later and do this? No, that's not what it was, honey. They give you hydrocodone at the dentist. That's a Vicodin. She's a known drug addict and drug abuser, so a Vicodin is going to be like a Skittle to her. So for her to even insinuate that is just stupid, and she's just stupid. That's just stupid. I wrote no, like so big right there. Like I was mad about that one. Oh, I was mad about this one too. And then postpartum, I think that she might try to play that card as well. I don't think that you can have babies and have them like, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about postpartum. I know that my friend had it, but I don't think that you would have a child, birth them, let them grow up some, and then try to do this like later on. I think that this was like more of, I don't know. I think she's trying for an insanity defense right now. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think they said, I wish I would have had my other notes because I had some more notes on this. But I don't know where they were. But they did say that, he's in a landfill, but they don't have an exact location. The boyfriend isn't a person of interest. They haven't arrested anyone. The last time she was seen was getting into that truck and leaving. I think it was her brother stated, and this wasn't confirmed by police. I haven't seen this confirmed yet, but that the back door was opened from like 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. or so. So maybe he got out the back door somehow. Talking about Quentin, because he was known to get out of the house before. So maybe he got out of the house again. And this is the only thing I could think of. There's one or two ways, and the other ways even it's just way worse. But both are horrific though. But this would be, maybe he got into that pool area and he wasn't being properly supervised because she was busy sleeping, and this was, in the morning, and maybe he fell into the pool, and then when she woke up, she came to, saw that he was not there anymore, put him in the pack and play. Because I forgot to tell you guys, at 6 a.m., Danny, the boyfriend, did see him in the pack and play, and he looked like he was just like sleeping, I guess. But if that were the case, wouldn't his face be like blue or something? Or, and this would make this, I don't know, or I feel like she was doing drugs or wanting to do drugs. Maybe she didn't have drugs with her or anything, or maybe she was like really lit out of her mind and did it. But either maybe she didn't have the drugs she wanted and she snapped onto him and took it out on him, or she was high on drugs and she snapped and took it out on him. Either way, she took something out on him. He's not here with us anymore, and we all know who did it now. So, but yeah, I don't know if she's like hunkered down somewhere because how funny, the court paper said if the child died, she'd have less child support to pay, and a week later, a child was. Wow, I didn't hear that one. I thought I heard them all too. Yeah. Sure, and she probably paid a week for her kid. I would say under $20, under that, because I know I've heard of people like in my hometown, like they have all these kids and they don't pay like hardly anything. I'm like, how does your kid even eat on that like $15 a month that you're sending, like, and cover clothing and shoes and backpacks for school and all the essentials that they need and stuff like that? Like, I don't think so. She's she wasn't fooling anybody, dumbass. Like if you're gonna do something stupid like that, that's when patience is a virtue. You don't do it when everyone's looking at you. Like, oh yeah, I won't have to pay $35 extra a month if he was okay. And then all of a sudden, it's just like Lindsay's mom giving us the freaking finger for Kylie. I said Lindsay, you know what I meant. Kylie's mom, Lindsay. I can't believe I forgot the rest of my notes. But I am going to look into more of the Quinton case. Have you heard if they gotten like picked her up or anything? Because they said that she wasn't a flight risk. So either she has to, and they didn't say she was in custody. So the only thing she could be is like in a mental hospital or something where they can't disclose it, or I don't know what she would be doing. Because if they put her in a safe house, but they wouldn't put her in a safe house because she doesn't need to be saved from anybody other than people in the world. But that's the only other reason why I would think that. It's just so strange to me. Both of these cases, like, and it wasn't that babysitter's job really to have to keep calling the grandmother and telling the grandmother that these things were happening. Like, if you see kids playing in a ditch, that's a problem. Like, and their house is set back and they're like that little, that's a problem. Like, I don't know. I just think these cases are just so insane to me. I can hear my girls out there. They're getting impatient with me tonight. But it does remind me of the Kylie Anthony case Kaylee, I'm sorry. I said Kylie now. I can't get her out of my mind. Between, the Kylie Rodney case and then maybe Quentin, I'm going to have like my work cut out for me this weekend. But I do have a couple of videos to post. So that's good. And is there any other questions you guys want to ask me? If you guys ever want to, I can do like a live panel, and you guys can come up and talk on the live panel if you'd like to do that. But yeah, just let me know. We can make that happen. I don't mind. I think my banner is still like on there. It's okay. That's fine. But yeah, I didn't even know about the court proceedings, her saying that. Well, I am going to jump off of here. I think I had some more papers somewhere, but you know me, they're probably laying around somewhere. I always have like papers everywhere. And I use the front and back, okay? For people that are like, well, yeah, see, I use the front and the back. And then I use like this paper for like it's really good for to like make firewood because it's kind of thick. So I am gonna get off here though. But if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so and click the bell icon. That way you're alerted to all new videos because I normally post all my new videos Tuesdays, but that's just like not true anymore because I post every day. So just make sure the bell icon, is alerted because we do short videos now, community post, and you can see all the community posts and stuff like that of all your favorite creators if you're using like a computer, MacBook, like a computer or a cell phone. But I don't think that you can see the community post on an iPad. Someone was asking that the other day, so I got that figured out a little bit. But it was so nice to see everybody again, and I'm going to be on this weekend again for sure because I know something's going to come out tonight or tomorrow, and I'll be there to watch the live and let you guys know all the good details. And then, like I said, if you guys want to use that promo code at my store, Poppy and Ari, it's YouTube, all capitalized, 20 for 20% off. My birthday is October 17th, so don't forget to tell your girl happy birthday on Sunday or Monday. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. I'm just kidding. And then if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter, which is my Twitter is at titanium_built. And then my Patreon is at titanium built. So yeah, I got a lot of things going on there. But I really appreciate you guys spending the time with me and the night with me. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.